Hey everyone, and welcome to the Beyond Life and Fitness podcast. I'm Cheryl Patton.
And I'm Megan Prince.
We started this podcast as a way to connect with more people who are struggling to fit it all in. The workouts, the food, kids, work, and relationships.
We know that we're not perfect, but we hope that through our struggles and our mistakes and our failures and our successes that we can help more people through their challenges and be successful. So if you want some tips and tricks to help you along your journey to be the best version of yourself, then this is it.
So one thing that we tend to hear a fair bit when new nutrition clients start with us is that it's too much food. How am I supposed to eat all of this food? There's no way I was eating this much food before. When they look back, or when they do their food logs for us, or when they look back after they've done a food log and they realize, oh, maybe I am eating the same amount of calories or more, but where the food is coming from is not necessarily a whole food source. It could have been just a ton of snacking that happens throughout the entire day versus actually doing like whole meals every time you sit down and eat. And so it's not that I don't think that it's a whole lot of food. I just think it's that where the food is coming from. Yes? Or do you have a different thought on that?
Yeah, and I think just looking at it, like actually writing, like seeing this meal plan in front of you, like if I've had clients write down if they literally wrote down what they ate every single day. Honestly, if you actually did, it would be a lot, right? Like you could have a lot of, actually one client did for one day, and it was like a handful here of chips, and like she actually wrote it down. I think she had like a hot chocolate, and then she had a milk here, and then she had a cafe latte, blah blah blah, whatever. And I was like, oh my god, dude, you're drinking so
Many
much calories.
I know.
But it's just liquid, right? And she's just peeing them out, and it's really high in sugar, so it's processing really fast through her body. And it's not really like sitting there, right? That's why when we talk post-workout, we talk about like high glycemic carbs. Like we want carbs to come in and push that protein into our muscles so that they can repair themselves fast. Whereas if you're having something like a fat, it's going to take the protein and go really slowly there, right? And it's not going to digest as fast. So when we're talking about same thing as like clients are drinking all of those calories, she doesn't realize how much. I think when I first, a couple years ago, one of my clients was drinking a large double from Tim Hortons twice a day.
Oh, wow.
And I said, dude, that's 500 calories. 500 calories in just your coffee. I said, all I want you to do is just just go to black or sweetener or milk. That's it. Like even like that's insane because then that's 500 calories a day, which in a week, that's a pound in a deficit. And so
just from liquid.
And
then you see all of these fancy drinks that Starbucks does.
It's insane.
Not just during the season, all the time.
Yeah.
And then I know like when Ethan was doing tutoring, there was a Starbucks 2 doors down. So I would go in and sit there, do some work while he was doing his tutoring. And it was close to a high school. And so the amount of kids that were coming in and just ordering everything that had whipped cream and I don't know how many pumps of something. And I'm like, do you want coffee with your sugar? Is basically what it boiled down to.
Yeah.
But yet they're training their taste buds for that. And then that's where the problem.
Yeah. And it's like, if you look at those things, I think like 500 to 900 calories, and you're just drinking it.
3 to 700 for sure, depending on the drink. So now there are ways that you can figure it out to make it fit your macros and have it less sugar and have it less fat for sure. But anyways, it's a lot of liquid calories, like you said.
My 12-year-old loves coffee. Like she loves the taste of it. So we started going
black coffee.
Like she likes the taste of any coffee. Like she's like my smoked oysters.
Oh, wow.
Raw salmon and sushi kind of girl. Like she just has the best taste buds.
Nice.
But we went to Tim Hortons one day because she loves iced coffees and it's like liquid cane sugar in it, like liquid. So the one day I said to them, is there any way they could do half the cane sugar, whatever? They're like, yeah. And then so we did that for her. And then now we've been, because I didn't even know through Tim Hortons, like Starbucks, you could kind of order sort of a little bit what you wanted. So now she gets a small iced coffee and it has one sweetener and that's it. And she's totally fine with it. But I was like, yeah, I do not want you guys, like, even to my kids, I'm like, no, there's no way that you're drinking that much sugar, because we've done experiments with my kids in their pod where in a pop, 43 grams of sugar, and we've taken it out of the things and laid it in front. Actually, I should do it again with this here, but like a can of pop, and then we had a cookie, and then we actually laid out the sugar on the table so you could actually see it. And so
like
then
the sugar cubes, they use cubes or
no,
what?
we just used like regular sugar and weighed it so that they could actually see what 43 grams of sugar is, or 100 grams of sugar. And it was pretty cool for them to see that, even if you went to like breads that have sugars, then you can see how much sugar is in there. But yeah, when we're talking about like clients saying this is too much food, it's actually like when it's laid out in front of you, it looks like a lot of food because now you see what you're eating for the entire day and it looks like a lot. But if you actually wrote down what you ate in an entire day, again, it would be a lot, right? So I think it's just visually when they see that, it's like 5 times a day. There's 3 things in each one of these meals, like a carb, a fat, and a protein. And it's just like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming and it's a lot. And
because they're used to those liquid calories filling in the gaps rather than just
a whole
like
meal.
a whole meal. And I think that is the biggest difference. And as you said, or going into the pantry or going into the lunchroom or going to the vending machine and just grabbing something every hour, hour and a half because you have, you're a little bit hungry, but not enough hungry to eat a whole meal. But yet if you ate the whole meal, you take out all of the liquid calories and snacks that you're filling those gaps in with.
Yeah, like a chocolate bar, easily 200 to 300 calories. And it's small though, right?
Yep.
So the chocolate bars, when you look at them, they're teeny tiny. So when you eat that, it doesn't fill up anything. But if you're
like in an hour,
if you're eating 4 ounces chicken breast with like 150 grams of rice and a cup of vegetables for 300 calories, you're literally like
a lot of food,
right? So when you say, yes, it is a lot of food, it's a lot of food from because the foods you were eating before are very calorie dense. If you grab a whole cup, like a quarter cup of trail mix, you're like 300 calories,
easy.
But it's teeny tiny.
Yeah.
Right. So then it is the volume of food looks bigger, but you're actually eating probably the same amount of calories. But then again, you're feeling full and then so the full feeling that you're feeling, it's just like you're not used to that because your feeling of full, like you've probably, do you eat sushi?
No.
Okay. So when we go to all you can eat sushi, me and the kids, like all my kids love sushi. So we like stuff ourselves, right? But it's like going to the Mandarin. And when you leave the Mandarin and you've stuffed yourself so full of really deep fried, calorie dense food, that's a much different feeling than when you're full from eating rice, chicken, and vegetables, because there's this like fullness, but you don't feel headache, you don't feel super thirsty because of the salt, bloated,
poor digestion, heartburn,
all that stuff that you don't get when you eat like a whole foods meal. That's, you feel full after, but it's not that full like I'm, like my kids have said before, like I feel like I'm going to throw up, my stomach's going to explode. So I get that feeling when they say I'm full, but it's not the same feeling as full with crappy foods, because highly your body's processed, like gonna digest it. You're gonna feel full, but then you're gonna feel full for a couple hours, and then that's amazing because then then you won't be snacking, and then you also will have another meal that just comes in another. Like sometimes, sometimes when I'm not in a deficit, I'm just like, am I really allowed to eat this again? Because I'm not really that hungry right now, but like, I guess so. I'm eating it and I just eat it, right? But I'm not like, I'm starving for this. But I'm like, okay, this is amazing. I just get to keep eating all day, and
that's just it. And normally when we switch these clients to this more like whole food style way of eating, that is definitely in a protein forward manner. Like we want to make sure that you're hitting a certain protein target, that they're like, I can't believe I get to eat all this food. I feel full, but yet the scale is going down.
I know. And I'm like, yeah, this is what we want.
Right?
But meanwhile, it's scary, right? Because it's somewhere that you haven't been before.
Yep.
It's somewhere that most people, when they think about dieting, they think about being hungry, eating salads, eating salads, eating really low calorie foods, eating 3 times a day, not eating after 6 o'clock, all these rules.
Yeah.
When really, there's not really any rules if you're kind of following.
You just want to get the calories in.
Get the calories in, right? And I think the last round a client said, all my people that work with me, like they keep seeing me eat every 3 or 4 hours and they can't believe that I'm seeing results and I'm losing weight and I'm feeling better. And I said, that's like the amazing part about it is that
beautiful place to be.
Get to do this. You get to eat. You get to actually show people that it's not eating. It's not restriction. It's actually fueling your body. And then your body says, oh, I'm not starving anymore. Now I can start releasing fat because I have extra calories to finally like actually burn fat, because before you don't have enough calories to even just your body to just function properly.
No. And as we've mentioned before too, like if you've just been in such a caloric restriction for so long, the body pares down the metabolism. It becomes super, super efficient with every calorie you bring in. It's not going to let anything go because the body's primary goal is just to have you live and survive, right? So it doesn't know that you're just trying to lose weight. It just thinks that you're not bringing in enough food because not enough food is available to you, when that's obviously not the case here. And so your metabolism slows down. You hold on to every calorie that you eat. And if you're not moving your body, doing any type of strength training, your body will actually start to pare down the muscle. So now you have less muscle. You have a slower metabolism. You're now in a further hole in terms of getting to whatever your goal is. So now us as coaches is not only digging you back out of that hole, but then getting your metabolism to start revving up and thriving again.
Yeah. And not being afraid.
Yeah.
Like I think people are afraid of eating more of, oh, well, I'm in a deficit, so I need you. But I'm like, but you are in a deficit right now eating all these foods, because that's the amazing part about it. They're not calorie dense foods. So you can have this beautiful big meal and it's not going to be like, 1,000 calories like you would eat with a tiny little burger or
any type of fast food, really.
Like a large French fries from McDonald's. You can 100%. Have such to match that meal with like a Whole Foods meal. Oh my gosh, I'd be stuffed because you'd have to like eat a lot.
Yes.
So I think when you first see that meal plan, and is it more than you've been eating? Not really, but it's just that now it's laid out in front of you and you can actually see what you're supposed to be eating every single day.
And how much your body needs to eat.
Yeah, which is amazing to see that, right? Because before you're just like, you're going without a schedule, you're going without a plan, you're just kind of winging it.
Yeah.
And you think you eat healthy, but then weekends creep in, snacks creep in, and then you're already up there already.
Social events, holidays.
Yeah. And then you're already up there. So just, I think, trust the process, trust that your body, like we always talk about it, but it's like a car. If you don't put gas in it, then it's not going to be able to run. So food is fuel. Food is healing. Food is energy. Food is joy. Food is happiness. Like all those things that we can regulate our hormones, regulate our body fat composition, build muscle, have strength, have energy, sleep better. So all those things, it's just sometimes you have to really wait until your body starts realizing that you're going to continue giving it food.
It trusts you again.
It just takes a couple weeks, right? So even sometimes I've seen clients where they jump because your body's like, oh my gosh, I'm eating so much food. I don't know what to do with it. But eventually, like,
it settles down.
Like even with yours, remember your weight jumped a little and then it came back down because your body's like, oh, okay, she's not like, I can now like come down a little bit because I'm going to start using these calories. But sometimes it just takes that like,
it can take months.
Yeah.
It really depends on your starting point, how long you have been in a deficit. I know I've had clients who've been in deficits for over 20 years. And the amount of food they eat in an entire day, it fathoms me how they even function in terms of so little. So,
and if you are in a severe deficit and not seeing weight loss, then 1,000% you have to up your calories.
you do. And
You have to.
yeah, and it's a psychological game at that point. It's not a physical game. It is 100% psychological at that point.
It's like playing chicken. It's like,
yes,
I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep eating. I'm going to keep eating. I'm going to keep eating until your metabolism is healed. And yes, sometimes you have to go the other way a little bit for a while. But if you're not willing to really commit to that uncomfortable part, then you'll never be able to get back to like a proper weight.
No.
Because your metabolism is taking a hit every single time you're not feeding it enough.
Exactly.
So don't be scared of the food. Just eat it and be like joyful.
100%. Thanks everybody for listening today, and we truly appreciate you. And let us know what your biggest takeaway was today, and if you have any questions you want answered on the podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast to automatically receive your episodes and to help us reach more listeners. We would love to connect with you on our socials, either Facebook or Instagram, with links in the show notes. Till next time, keep taking those small steps towards your best life.